can't believe this. I can't tell you anything. Every time I tell you something, everybody else knows about it. No, mad.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Brandon, coming at you live once again from Smith's Grove, and today I'm doing something a little bit differently. I'm reviewing a movie that I just watched recently, and that movie is Renfield. I'm going to be reviewing this one in a little bit more of a traditional, shorter style. One, to change it up a bit, and two, I don't have access to the Blu-ray yet, so I can't really do it in the style that I've been doing the Halloween franchise in. And speaking of, my Rob Zombie Halloween review will be out very soon, so be on the lookout for that. So Renfield is a new comedy horror film that's directed and produced by Chris McKay and written by Ryan Ridley. Story credits go to Walking Dead's Robert Kirkman, who also gets a producer credit as well. The movie tells the tale of Renfield, a classic character from the Universal monster movies, and you probably know as the familiar to Count Dracula. In this version, though, it's a little bit different. After nearly a century of gathering victims for the Count and suffering from his abuse, Renfield, played by Nicholas Hoult, has grown exhausted. After a recent close call with vampire hunters that almost killed Dracula, they flee to New Orleans to recuperate. While starting what seems like a never-ending cycle all over again, Renfield begins to gather victims for Dracula to heal. Fairly early on in the film, he discovers a self-help group for codependent people where he begins to realize that he might want to be his own man for once and maybe even wants to help people. Another main character in this movie is police officer Rebecca Quincy, played by Awkwafina, who's trying to avenge her dad's death by bringing down the Lobo crime family while also dealing with a mostly corrupt police department. Rebecca and Renfield's paths eventually cross and comedy and absolute chaos ensues. And I think I'm going to end the summary there because I think you guys really need to see this movie if you haven't already. Right off the bat, I want to say that this movie sucked me in from the start. No pun intended. Nicolas Cage's Dracula is something that you don't think you need, but you really do. They even throw a little black and white nod into the Bela Lugosi Dracula in the beginning when Renfield's giving his exposition. It feels like at first glance that whoever decided to cast Nicolas Cage in this role was either really dumb or really smart. Luckily for all of us, this was the best decision possible. And I mean, is it really that surprising? It's Nick Cage. The dude can play like any role and knock it out of the park. He's like in this weird short list of actors that could just like take any role and make it their own and it be pretty good. Well, Nick Cage good. Him and Jeff Goldblum, for instance, like they have this weird effect on me where I'm totally entertained by every stupid little thing that they do. And the bad part is, I don't know if they're just like playing it up, knowing that people expect it, or if they're really that weird. I mean, I would like to think they're playing it up, but who knows? I mean, look at this shit. He has a cane and top hat in this specific scene. It shouldn't even be that funny, but it is because it's Nick Cage. I mean, as far as the rest of the cast and characters go, everybody plays their role pretty well. Ben Schwartz was a really good chicken shit bad guy with mommy issues. Nicholas Hoult was absolutely great in this film, and I don't even know at this point if I can imagine anybody else playing both of those sides of the Renfield character. Of course, one side being that mopey codependent character and the other being this like bug-eating almost super-like hero character. Maybe his time in the X-Men series helped him on that. I gotta be honest, I'm not really a big fan of Awkwafina in just about anything she's in. There's nothing against her really, I don't hate her, and I'm sure she's a pretty cool person, but I don't feel like she's always great in the role she's in. She's always kind of got the same role, and she's definitely not believable as a cop in this movie. That said, I don't really find myself giving that much of a shit because it was just that entertaining. And I'm not really here for her anyway, I'm here for Nick Cage. We also do get some really great dark comedy and action in this movie as well. Everything from goofy slow-mo kills, this really funny and clever welcome mat gag, and this long-running joke of how ska music isn't dead. It really has just about everything you can think of that can keep you entertained for an hour and a half. This movie also feels like it moves at a decent pace too, like I didn't find myself getting bored with it. And for those who don't know what the hell ska is, feast your eyes on this. Okay, I admit that was for some of the older folks in the crowd. I really don't want it to seem like this is a cop-out, but I don't really know if I have any cons in this film. I mean, don't get me wrong, I could pick plenty apart, and normally I would probably shit all over CGI blood and gore. I'm just not that big of a fan of it. But for some reason though, it kind of seems to work here. I mean, I didn't really come in thinking this was going to be a serious film, so I don't know if I could take it seriously enough to critique it that harshly, if that makes sense. And I don't even mean that in a bad way. Like, it's a good thing. It's a fun movie. It's kind of weird because like the blood and gore is almost too much at times, but it also helps send it so far over the top that like it goes past that point of bad into it somehow works for the movie. I really don't know if that makes any sense, but I'm going with it. I mean, I guess you could say that Nick Cage overacts in the movie, but he kind of does that all the time, and believe me, that's a win, not a loss. I guess one genuine con I could say is that I don't get enough of his Dracula in this movie. He has screen time, but he does the part so well that it still leaves me wanting way more. I gotta be honest with you all, it was ridiculous, but this was a banger, man. This was a fun movie. And for that, I'm giving Renfield 4 fangs out of 5. Would you call that a fang banger? Anyway, out of everything in the lineup for 2023, there are far worse movies that you could watch this summer. And I've got to tell you, if you're not down with this recent Nicolas Cage renaissance over the last couple of years, I've got 2 words for you.
Let's eat.
Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for me. I just wanted to kind of keep it short and sweet this time around. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you like these shorter reviews, for a change up every now and then, be sure to let me know down in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that jazz. Also, let me know down in the comments what you all thought of Renfield if you watched it. If not, I highly recommend you go watch it right now. It's on Peacock as we speak. And again, be on the lookout for my Rob Zombie Halloween review. It's coming in a few days. Until then, guys, stay sane.